Hi everyone, my name is Doriana with my Condo Source, and today we're going to be talking to you about Pre-Construction Condos 101. Today we're going to be talking to you about the pre-construction process, and throughout each process we're also going to be talking to you about the terms that you're going to want to know. So let's get started. So from start to finish, the pre-construction process goes through many phases, and from start of the selling to the final registration, that could take about 4 to 5 years. When the developer is ready to launch a project, this is phase 1 at year 0. This is the first time prices and floor plans are going to be released, and this is exactly when you want to get in, at the initial selling phase. The selling phase can actually take from as little as a few short weeks to sell to probably a few months, even up to a year. This actually all depends on how many suites the builder would like to release at the initial launch. About 12 to 18 months after the initial launch, the builder is ready to break ground. They have zoning in place, permits approved, and they're ready to start construction on this pre-construction condo. This is where you're going to hear terms like the right to assign. This is where you're going to actually have your decor appointment, and right before interim occupancy, this is where you're actually going to have your PDI inspection. So now we're moving on to the third phase, which generally happens maybe about 3 to 4 years after the initial selling. And in this phase, this is where we're going to talk about your right to lease, where you're still able to continue your right to assign. We're going to talk about how your interim occupancy works, your interim occupancy fees, and then we're going to talk about your carry-on warranty program. The interim occupancy phase can last probably anywhere between 3 to 15 months. This really all depends on how many units are in the actual building. But of course, the builder would like to get this condo registered as soon as possible. So the fourth phase is the registration phase. And in this part, we'll be talking about the condo being registered, your final closing costs, and if you are an investor or an end user, we're going to be also talking about HST.
So when a developer launches a project that you're interested in, it goes through many selling phases. You got the platinum release phase, you have the VIP realtor phase, the general realtors, and then the general release. Now, through each phase, prices will continuously go up, anywhere between $25,000 to $70,000. Now, at that point, most of the suites are sold out, or even worse, the project is sold out. So you want to buy at the earliest possible point. Now, that would be the platinum release.
So how do you buy a pre-construction condo? You want to buy at the first initial selling phase with a platinum broker team such as My Condo Source. So the first thing you're going to want to do is register with mycondosource.com. From there, if you are potentially interested in purchasing in a condo, then we have you submit a suite request worksheet form. Once pricing and floor plans are released, we receive your allocation, and then we obtain a signing appointment for you. After that, your 10-day cooling period begins.
So what are your next steps? How to buy? Register with My Condo Source. Reach out to one of our product specialists. We provide a call overview or set up an appointment at the presentation center for you. Now, information will be provided to guide you through the next steps.
Submitting a worksheet. Why we have you submit a worksheet? Well, it's very simple. There's about 1,000 people that register for any and every pre-construction condo at any given time. And just like any other condos, you're going to come across the same suite types, whether it be studios, 1 bedrooms, 1 bedroom plus dens, or 2 bedrooms. All those people are going to be looking for the same suite types as you. And if there's only 340 units in this actual condo, you can only imagine how many units are roughly going to be for 1 bedrooms, 1 bedroom plus dens, and 2 bedrooms. So submitting a worksheet actually just moves you up further along into the process and actually getting allocated a suite. Because you can imagine how many people are actually looking for the same suite type as you. So with this process, we receive your government official ID. We also have you prepare a bank draft check. All this information is what's needed to get you an actual suite allocation. And it's also the same information that you're going to need for your agreement of purchase and sale. Once the builder has released pricing and floor plans, we now go back to you with your suite allocation. We have you secure your suite, drop off your bank draft check, and then we wait for your signing appointment. Your signing appointment will most likely take place via email. So they'll send you the contract to sign for your electronic signature. After you sign, it gets sent back to the developer for their signature. Once you both have copies fully signed, this is an executed copy, and now your 10-day cooling period begins. During your 10-day cooling period, what you want to do is potentially have a lawyer review your contract, preferably review all your adjustment costs. You're also going to want to prepare your post-dated checks as per the structured deposits that's outlined in your agreement of purchase and sale, and you're also going to want to obtain a pre-mortgage approval letter. After your 10-day cooling period is done, you're basically just sitting around for a few years until you have your decor appointment and right before your interim occupancy.
During the platinum phase, you'll be able to take advantage of the first selection of floor plans, the absolute lowest prices, which will yield you the best and highest returns on your investment, and of course, the best available incentives for the project. Incentives such as cap levies, the right to assign, the right to lease, and extended deposit structure. These incentives are important, and you're gonna want them in your contract.
Development charges are taxes collected by the city from the developer, and these help pay for infrastructure that's required to provide municipal services to your area and to your condo building. These taxes are services to new developments such as new roads, transit, water, sewer infrastructure, community centers, fire and police facilities. You're going to want these levies capped because if they're not capped, then at the end of your final closing, these costs can incur and you're going to have to pay out of pocket more than you had originally anticipated. These levies are passed to the buyer from the builder and you want them capped at the initial selling phase. This is exactly why you want to buy with a platinum team because we're able to provide that as one of our top incentives. So the city imposes these taxes to buyers that are purchasing into new developments. You can actually get more information on the City of Toronto website under development charges. Without these taxes being paid, that condo that you purchased in that neighborhood that you're living in wouldn't improve. And that would actually result in the entire community running down. So this actually helps increase the value not only of your condo, but of the entire area in itself. This is an example of your development levies being capped. You can see something like studios, 1 bedroom to 1 bedroom plus den being capped at $12,000. You can see 2 bedrooms and larger being capped at about $15,000. This only applies to new developments, whether it be a low-rise new house or a pre-construction condo. This does not apply to resale homes. Every pre-construction condo will have development charges, but the amount that's being capped will vary depending on the area that you're buying into. You would be paying development levies, municipal levies, and educational levies. And all of these levies will be paid on your final closing.
The right to lease. The right to lease is allowing you to lease your property during interim occupancy. During interim occupancy, the condominium is not yet registered, and your name has not been transferred onto the title. But like an assignment, circumstances might change. You might not be ready to move in just yet, or you might not want to have your mortgage registered. Now, you can actually lease out your unit and be making some money before your mortgage is even registered. With this incentive, you now have the right to lease your unit.
The right to assign. An assignment is where the original purchaser becomes an assigner and sells their interest in a property to a new purchaser who becomes the assignee before they close on the property, giving you the right to sell your purchase before you even close on the property. This is where you want to work with our team to help you sell your assignment. Typically, when working with builders, there will be restrictions for when you can sell your assignment. Things like the building must be 90% sold, or you cannot list it on the MLS, and you can't be in direct competition with the builder. But every contract varies, and this is where we can really help you.
This is what you would expect during an assignment. So, say an original buyer who actually purchased at the initial launch purchased their actual floor plan, their suite, for about $650,000. A few years have passed, things have changed, and now they would like to assign this to somebody else. They've actually made some profit, and they're looking to sell this for about $800,000. So you take your original purchase price of $650,000, minus the deposits that you paid into it, which is about $130,000, and you're left with a remaining principal mortgage of $520,000. Your assignment sale will look like this. Your new assignment price, what you're trying to sell for, is about $800,000. Less your original purchase price of $650,000, less your 20% deposit that you paid towards, about $130, your total profits that the new assignee, which is the new purchaser, would have to pay you is about $280,000. How that gets paid out That depends on the contract that you have at the time of doing your assignment sale. All the builder cares for is when you're transferring your interest to the new buyer, to the assignee, the builder wants to see that that new assignee is going to close that purchase with the original principal mortgage of $520,000. The rest of your profit is for you to keep. Another great incentive to have is an extended deposit structure. We recommend to builders what our clients prefer in terms of deposit structures, and they take our advice. A 20% deposit structure is typically required for a pre-construction condo. How that gets extended, that all depends on the builder. Last year, we've seen some great incentives where we had 5% deposits per year, or some of it was even extended to even 2.5% per year. But just so you know that all your deposits are paid towards your purchase price. Most of these deposits are structured from the time of signing to the actual closing. In the unlikely event that the builder has to cancel the project, all your deposits that are held in trust will be actually returned to you. This is much different from a low-rise pre-construction development where your deposits are not really protected. You're lucky if you even get anything, or you could just probably get maybe up to 10%. So here we are well into the construction phase. And about 12 to 18 months before interim occupancy, you'll be contacted by the builder's customer service team for your first decor appointment. Here, this is where you come in and you choose your features and your finishes and any of your decor upgrades should you choose to do so. They'll likely give you the option to either pay for the upgrades in full at the time of your decor appointment, pay a 20% deposit and the remaining balance at the time of closing, or you can probably leave a deposit and put the remaining balance onto your mortgage. This will vary depending on the developer that you buy from or even how much your upgrades are worth. So here we are well into the construction phase. And about 12 to 18 months before interim occupancy, you'll be contacted by the builder's customer service team for your first decor appointment. Here, this is where you come in and you choose your features and your finishes and any of your decor upgrades should you choose to do so. They'll likely give you the option to either pay for the upgrades in full at the time of your... So here we are actually getting really close to phase 3. This is the last step of the construction phase. About 15 to 30 days before your interim occupancy date, you'll be notified for your first PDI inspection. PDI stands for pre-delivery inspection. This is the first time you're going to be walking into your suite. You're actually going to be walking through with a representative from the builder. Here's where you're going to inspect all your deficiencies and all your defects. You're going to ensure all your upgrades and finishes are correct as per your color selections. You're going to report any deficiencies to your Tarion warranty program, and you're also going to receive your Tarion enrollment certificate. So here we are, phase 3 interim occupancy phase. We finally made it. This is where you're legally allowed to enter and occupy your suite. You're just legally not on title yet. You're actually just not paying the mortgage portion of your principal mortgage. This is where unit owners start occupying their suites and the builder starts working on turning over to register the building. But this is the process that takes about 3 to 12 months. During this time, you are able to lease your unit. You can continue your right to assign. Just keep in mind that it is very unlikely that your amenities will be completed and it will be a construction zone for quite some time. And this is where you're going to pay your interim occupancy fees. Before you occupy your suite, your lawyer is going to ask you to provide 12 post-dated checks totaling your interim occupancy fee amount. Interim occupancy fees. So interim occupancy fees consist of the following. Interest portion of the unpaid balance of the purchase price calculated by the Bank of Canada rate, your monthly property taxes, and your monthly maintenance fees. So on the right, I have an example of what that looks like. The estimated interim occupancy fees were based on a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom condo that was about 450 square feet. The maintenance fees were at about 63 cents a square foot. They purchased this unit at $650,000 and they did put their 20% down payment deposits toward the purchase price. And the property is in Toronto and the taxes were estimated at 68% of the assessed value of the property. So here we have the purchase price at $650,000, less your 20% deposits of $130. The principal mortgage was $520,000. So a $520,000 mortgage based on the Bank of Canada rate at 3.25% was estimated at about $2,257 as your monthly mortgage. However, we are not paying the mortgage here. We're paying only the interest portion of that mortgage. So we take that 3.25% interest rate divided by 12 and we get 27%. So we take 27% of $2,257 and our interest portion is $1,647. So your estimated interim occupancy fees would be $1,647 plus your monthly property taxes of $273 plus your maintenance fees at $284.50. And the total estimated interim occupancy fee here was $2,204.50. So the difference between the interim occupancy and the final registration is you're just not paying the mortgage portion. Once this building is actually registered, the only thing missing here is the mortgage portion. So if you go back to the top and you take the original $2,257, that includes the mortgage portion, and that brings you now down to a total of $2,814.50 is your ongoing monthly here. While you were at your PDI inspection, you did receive your Tarion enrollment number. Once you go online to tarion.com, you enroll your number, and here you begin to see your entire warranty program. So your brand new suite is protected under the new home warranty program for up to 7 years. You have a 30-day warranty, a 1-year warranty, a 2-year warranty, and a 7-year warranty. You should visit the Tarion website for details and information regarding the warranty coverages for each year. It's also important to note that if you did do any of the upgrades at your decor appointment, those also get extended into your warranty program. Should you move into your place and start renovating or making any changes to it structurally, you will actually not be covered under warranty. While you were at your PDI inspection, you did receive your Tarion enrollment number. So we finally made it. The condo is finally registered. The builder has turned this over to the condo board and the property management. And finally, you're actually paying the mortgage portion. You're legally on title. And this is where you actually now have to pay your final closing costs. This is an example of what you would see for your closing costs. This is a side-by-side of an example of a pre-construction condo closing cost versus a resale closing cost. So if you look to the left on the pre-construction condo closing, you have your land transfer tax. So if you buy a property in Toronto, you do have a double land transfer tax. That's provincial and municipal. If you are a first-time home buyer, you will be rebated for each land transfer tax up to $4,000. It's a total of $8,000. In addition to that, you have other adjustments that you have to pay on closing. Your legal fees, your title insurance, new mortgage, mortgage discharge, status certificate, Tarion warranty enrollment, your utility hookup, 2 months prepaid maintenance fees for your reserve fund, electronic registration fee, your cap on development charges, and any of your decor upgrades. All of these costs are found in your contract under your adjustments. They're actually outlined for you in your contract, but you can actually review them with your lawyer as well. The main difference between a pre-construction condo versus a resale condo is a resale condo don't have any development levies. HST. If you are a first-time home buyer or if you're an investor, this is something that you're going to have to learn about. What you have to do is ask yourself the question, will this be your principal resident or is this an investment property? Are you, the purchaser, going to actually live here, or do you have other intentions, like selling it before you close, or never living in it, or just renting it out? So let's start off with, do you have intentions of living in this property? If the answer is yes, then you have to ask yourself, will this be your principal resident? If the answer is yes, then you are an end user, and HST is inclusive in your purchase price. Here in Ontario, we are only allowed to declare one property as your primary principal resident. And you are considered an end user if you plan on living there. Now let's go back and ask again. Do you have intentions of living in this property? Yes. Okay. Will this be your principal resident? No. Okay. Does that mean you're renting out your property? Yes. Then on your closing, you're going to have to pay up to $24,000 in taxes. You're declaring this property as an income property. Therefore, you're paying the CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, up to $24,000. However, you can get that amount rebated back to you about 3 to 4 months, speak to your accountant. What you do need is a lease agreement in place. As long as you have that lease agreement in place, then you should be seeing that rebate come back to you. Now let's ask ourselves one more time. Do you have intentions of living in this property? No. You don't have intentions of living in this property when you close, nor do you even have intentions of living in this property before you sell. It's going to be vacant. This is where you pay capital gains. This is an example of what capital gains looks like. So capital gains is you selling your property for profit. So what the Canada Revenue Agency sees is that you just turn this into a business. And well, obviously, like any other business, the CRA is going to say, okay, you're going to have to pay tax. The CRA wants you to pay your taxes on your business. So you are going to have to declare to the CRA on the profit portions of your gains along with your income tax. For more information, you should speak to your accountant, or you can actually visit the CRA website under capital gains. There are exceptions on paying capital gains. So if you're trying to do an assignment sale because your circumstances have changed, where you no longer want to move, you're unable to afford it, you lost your job, you have to move to another city. As long as the CRA doesn't see that you're doing this pretty often like a business, then they may exempt you and only have you pay a portion of the capital gains. But if you're looking to do this as a business, then this is how capital gains are calculated. So going back to the assignment that we sold, our new assignment price was $800,000. The original price was $650,000. Our total profit was about $150,000. So the CRA will take 50% of that profit and they'll tax you on that portion. So $75,000 was 50% of that profit. And based on your income bracket, so let's just say you fall into a 33% income bracket, you times it by your income bracket, and you're paying a capital gains of about $24,750,000. Keep in mind, everybody's income is different and everybody's expenses are different. So these numbers can vary.
With a depth of knowledge about the real estate market, developers, floor plans, and investments, we make sure our clients have all the information they need to make the right decision for them. Many of our clients find it helpful to meet prior to the launch of the project to help get questions answered. If you would like to schedule an appointment, please get in touch with us directly. We can go through the pre-construction process from purchase to closing and look at all available options based on your needs. Call or email us today. Register at mycondosource.com for the latest projects and opportunities.